8 Dark Facts About Being Single, and Why You Really Need to Get a Meaningful Other. Each singleton experiences veiled insults and pressure on their marital status. The actual image is much more serious. Single people face discrimination when they travel, use facilities, and when the tax collector calls. More disturbingly, studies have found that people don't take happiness or success in spouses seriously. Furthermore, an investigator nearly lost his life before a deadly bias was discovered, one that endangers only cancer patients who never made their vows. 8. Black Day. Much evidence supports the existence of happy singles. However, there are many lonely hearts who long for their soulmates and the day when they can also get married. While most people do it privately, South Korea has a special day set aside for singles to support each other. Called Black Day, single people meet on April 14th. They wear black clothes, nail polish, makeup and accessories. The emphasis on his black humor doesn't end there. When they meet, it is traditional to order a meal called jjajangmyeon. Believe it or not, but this dish contains black noodles that stain your teeth looking rotten. The somber tint comes from a sauce that is served separately from the noodles. Made from vegetables, meat, and seafood, the seasoning is poured over the noodles for a great gothic effect. The happiest loners hold jjajangmyeon contests to see who can eat the most black pasta. Where there is need and loneliness, business opportunists are generally not far behind. During this time, stores sell a large amount of black coffee, and dating services step up their game to be more attractive to single customers. Black Day is not the strangest Korean tradition linked to romance. There is also Green Day. Every year on August 14th, couples dress in green clothes and buy green bottles filled with a drink called soju. Getting drunk with this alcoholic drink could explain why lovers skip the forested areas. 7. Studies on singles also discriminate. Friends, family, and colleagues often push singles out in their midst. While pettiness and social expectations may drive this behavior, one would expect scientists to be clearer. To be fair, some researchers gave singles a serious look and found that for some people, staying single can offer a multitude of benefits. They often form closer bonds with coworkers and loved ones, can have deeper and more meaningful lives than married people, and have also shown continued personal growth throughout their lives. However, in 2016, a study on singles ironically found that most studies with single participants did not see them as individuals in their own right. After reading 814 studies where singles were included and analyzed, it became clear that most simply served as a secondary factor in learning more about married couples. Here is a curious footnote. When a couple marries, they qualify for more than 1,000 federal benefits. Logically, this should allow them to get ahead in life. This is not always the case. For some reason, without the 1,000 benefits of their married counterparts, single people continue to flourish alongside couples. Perhaps if singles receive more studies as equals, the unusual trend would not be a mystery. 6. The risk of dementia is higher. In 2017, a research team found a new way to scare individuals. Never saying these vows can increase a person's likelihood of developing dementia by 42%. The study was big. It included 15 projects from Europe, the USA, South America and Asia and included 812,047 participants. The results were not concrete but indicated that lifelong loners had the greatest chance of being hit by the devastating condition. On the podium, the widowers were in second place with their 20% higher risk than married couples. Two factors are known to decrease the likelihood of dementia. Be social and lead a healthy lifestyle. It is believed that marriage offers protection in this sense because singles, especially older people living alone, can become socially isolated and inactive. However, marriage could also be what distorts statistics. Aging spouses naturally help each other, but this arrangement could delay the diagnosis, which means that more married people could suffer from dementia than is officially recognized. A recent review mysteriously reduced the risk for singles to 24%. As encouraging as the unexplained decline was, unmarried people remain the group at greatest risk for diagnosis. 5. Single girls can now accuse their mother. A recent study claimed that mothers stand behind their daughters' single status. The researchers supported the idea even when the women did nothing to actively destroy the relationships of their adult children. The 2018 project was based on two important surveys. For decades, both persecuted the same women and, ultimately, their children. The thousands of participants provided enough food to draw some conclusions. However, it got strange when researchers read mothers' lives as a prediction of how many partners their daughters would have in the future. Apparently the similarity had nothing to do with the child who witnessed the separation of the parents. There was no clarification as to whether the girls had left relationships because of abuse, that they wanted to be single, or whether their friends had broken it. Instead, the study advocated the theory that mothers shared poor conflict management skills or mental health problems that increased the likelihood of girls becoming single. Given that there is no real evidence to support this, a mother could be forgiven a single daughter for feeling a little offended. 4. They face financial discrimination. In financial terms, unmarried individuals contribute a lot to society. It appears that grace has not been restored. First of all, they get fewer benefits in taxes and childcare. The government is not alone in rewarding husbands. Some places, like the cinema, give discounts to families with a couple but not to the only parents who have children. When seats are few, theaters refuse to sell only one ticket. One person must buy a pair, pay for two people and enjoy the show with an empty seat next to them. There are airlines, hotels, and gyms that break couples' prices but make individuals pay more to use the same amenities. Individual insurance companies also view the individual as riskier than the two groups. As a result of this broad assumption, responsible individuals are expected to pay twice as much as married couples. Even individual beneficiaries are not excluded. They are slapped with a 40% tax bill when they inherit from a property in excess of £325,000. On the other hand, after the death of the husband, their assets are transferred to the living partner tax-exempt. Indeed, contrary to popular belief, celibacy is certainly not the cheapest. 3. Their happiness is insulting. In 2019, a relationship expert introduced conversations about her new book. The work touched on happiness and concluded that single women can be satisfied with satisfaction and health. Fans gained among the females individually, but the reaction was great. The author was accused of spreading propaganda and pushing the image of the independent woman even further. She easily recognized that marriage, for some, could be a source of great joy. But what I found curious was the strong negative reaction. Almost as if the idea of real happiness in singles was abusive. This was not the first time that popular opinion supported a disturbing belief, that single people are unable to be as happy as anything that their married counterparts feel. It was a brutally honest study from Israel. When volunteers were asked to rate their biographical accounts, they married individuals higher on the happiness scale. Although many stories described one person enjoying a wonderful life that included satisfaction and achievement, the participants insisted that the person in question did not really feel this great. They genuinely believed that the only one could not be happier than the husband or wife. According to psychologists, this negativity is derived from fear and jealousy. People can envy unrelated people because their lives seem to be more free and full of better opportunities. Singleton can also breed fear when they choose to live alone. Worse yet, when he dares to appear happy that there is no husband or children. This conflicts with the expectations of the community and make the crowd of conservative thinking uncomfortable. 2. Tunisia hates single mothers. New parents are usually not afraid to lose everything when the baby arrives. Unless she is single, she lives in Tunisia. The state's hatred toward unmarried mothers is so deep that women are often expelled from the home by their families, abandoned because of disagreements, and receive no sympathy if rape causes pregnancy and, in the words of a worker at a charity, they are not seen as being humanity. They are not parents even legally. In Tunisia, only men can have guardianship, and for this reason, an unmarried woman can expect the police to visit her in hospital after birth. She is being interrogated until the father's name is revealed. The main reason for this hostility against single mothers is that Tunisia follows Islamic law and Islamic law prohibits premarital sex. However, parents are not ostracized or harassed in what is a shocking example of gender inequality. Discrimination against children born out of wedlock is also discriminated against. They are legally registered as illegitimate, a title that prevents them from claiming the same heritage rights as a child born in marriage. Lifetime nonsense, pressure from the family, and the fear of losing everything is so severe that half of women give up their children. Those who choose to keep their child sometimes head to the only asylum in the country for single mothers. However, they can only stay there for 4 months. After that time, the shelter helps every woman find work and accommodation. 1. Cancer bias. Statistically, unmarried cancer patients have a lower survival rate. It was ridiculous, as it was believed that celibates abandoned the fight against cancer because they did not live for it. The scary truth was revealed only after a researcher was diagnosed and suspicious. When Joan Delfatori's condition was revealed, she was in the 4th stage of gallbladder cancer that was also spreading to the liver. She needed a certain treatment that was aggressive and had bad side effects. Disturbingly, Dr. Delfatori wanted to withhold the life-saving option. The doctor doubts she can deal with suffering without the support of the husband or family. By this calculation, it was not the cancer that reduced her survival, but rather the fact that she had no husband. The researcher sought a second opinion, and this decision may have saved her life. Delfatori received treatment and cancer struck. Her experience made her wonder if the killer frequency was an isolated case. Was not. After combing millions of marital status for cancer patients and their treatments, Delfatori published its results in 2019. Singles don't give up life because of loneliness. Instead, she discovered that many doctors showed the same fatal bias as marriage affected their decision to provide life-saving care.